What's going on, folks? Welcome to a brand new live stream. I apologize for the delay. I apologize for the tardiness. I had a bit of a technical difficulty that I had to deal with, but we're back on track right now. That's the thing, man. Sometimes these tech things, these tech companies, they'll mess with your tech equipment. But I'm very happy to be here. Very excited. Sorry, missed last week. We had a small technical issue then with setting up some stuff, so I wasn't able to come on board. But if you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome, welcome. I see Milky Fades here. Welcome to the stream, my friend. I'm just setting up a few things, opening up a few files that I wanted to have open and share with you guys. And we're going to get started. But I'm really excited to be back. Really, really happy to be back here. Let me just bust an alert to everyone. Starting now. If you're new here, the format of the show is very simple. We move and we kind of how I do it is I'll go over what happened last week, discuss what's happening this week, and then we'll begin to do some live charting with you guys and kind of go over any charts or any stocks that you guys want me to chart for you, discuss with you. If you have any questions, of course, this is all under the guise of educational. This is all meant for educational purposes only. I'm just here meant to help you out as best as I can. To answer anything, I'm not a financial advisor, but that I'm very confident you folks already knew. Which I love that. I love the fact that this is here, and I love the fact that we're doing a stream tonight. I see everyone coming in. Milky's here, Anthony's here, Armin's here. Welcome, welcome. Armin, New York, fellow New Yorker. What's up, my friend? How are you liking this weather in New York? Such a beautiful spring that we've been having this first week. I'm not going to lie to you. It's been very, very awesome. And I've just been loving it. Paziv, hola, welcome, my friend. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. Just setting up a few more things here, but in the meantime, if you guys would like, we can get the queue started. Start dropping some charts, some stocks you want charted. We'll obviously always do them in the order that they come in. I have respect for everyone who's here first. Obviously, we'll honor your guys' stuff first, but this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for today's stream. Here we go. So let's enter. Let me screen share some stuff. Yeah, Armin's liking this New York weather. I'm loving it too, man. I'm loving it too. Not gonna lie to you. So here we go. Add to the stream. You guys can see me. Okay, I need to change some of this branding stuff. I don't know why. There we go. That's my stuff. You guys know me. That's how I operate. All right. So let's get started. Let's talk about it. Last week we had a very, very, very exciting week. A lot of craziness happened, and I want to discuss it with you because it is extremely important what happened last week going into this week, because most of it happened on the tail end of the week and could lead us into the next week. Before we get started, I want you to... Oh, Anthony, what's up, buddy? I'm doing well. How are you? My day's been great. Thank you so much. Listen to Tony Hill and hit that like button. The goal like count goal for this stream is 35 likes. If we can get there, that'd be so awesome. I'd appreciate you guys if we could do that, chat. That'd be really, really cool. Michael says, what do you think about natural gas? Well, we'll discuss that. Sup, Chase? Welcome, welcome. I'll be seeing you on Twitter. Thank you so much. I'm glad you've seen me on Twitter because so many people are telling me, like, we don't see your tweets anymore. And I'm like, Elon! But it is okay. It's okay. Shannon says, hello. Sunday evening, people. Hello, Shannon. Welcome to the stream. All right, let's talk about it. So last week, we got some CPI data. Obviously, CPI data was good. If you looked at it at the face value, it was good. But if you kind of went under the hood a little bit, the sticky inflation, that core inflation, those items were not fantastic. They were not fun. They did not do us any favors, unfortunately. And things just were outright ugly, to be honest with you. Stuff like food away from home, which is when you go out to like a restaurant or stuff, that stuff was still, unfortunately, still expensive. Medical costs still went up. The medical sector went up. Housing still went up, which is kind of it's bundled under the word shelter. I made a quick little infographic that I'm pulling over right here to kind of show you guys, to kind of make it a little bit simpler. I like doing these little infographics. I put them on my Twitter. If you guys aren't following me, the link is down below at Ryan Rozbiani. I'd love to have you guys on there as well to follow me. I'm going to change the view a little bit here. I'll be down here. If you can see me, I'm down here. But I'll have to change it from there. Main mic is off. Can you guys hear me? Are you guys not able to hear me? Can you guys hear me? Is everything coming in correctly? Because Jordan's saying main mic is off. Beach Bum, what's going on, buddy? Welcome, welcome. I hope you're enjoying Florida down there. I miss Florida. I was there last August, and I was talking to the buddies last night. I was talking to them last night, and I was like, we got to go back to Florida. And the guys are like, I think it's a good idea. Of course, we're going to keep it having a lot of fun there. I miss it. Beautiful. Guys are saying loud and clear. Jim, if you're having some issues, try turning up the settings on your YouTube to 1080p so that you can kind of hear everything a lot clearer. That should help with some audio quality issues. I'm going to turn up the audio mic on my end a little bit as well so you can hear me a little bit better. Let me just squeeze it up a little bit here as well. Perfect. All right, so look, take a look at this. This is a kind of a quick breakdown of the CPI. I posted it on my Twitter literally 15 minutes after the data came out. It was like scrambling to get a quick infographic out there because it's important. Month-over-month data, everything was essentially very clean except those core items again, right? That new vehicles items were a pain. New vehicles have been ramping up again. The used car sector, or the regular new car sector has been hot. Medical care commodities jumped up again big. It's interesting because it was cooling off for the past 2 CPI prints, but this guy picked up again. Transportation services picked up. It's just been, it's interesting. I was almost confident transportation would cool down a little bit because diesel has been dropping for 10 weeks in a row. The price of diesel has been down, but transportation services took a kick up. But that diesel stuff did help kind of balance out the bump in the oil, in the gas prices. So that kind of helped there when we're discussing the energy stuff up top. And medical care services bumped up again as well. It's not good. If we look at the year-over-year stuff, very parallel stuff that we were discussing earlier, the vehicles and commodities picked up, medical care commodities picked up, shelter picked up. If you're in New York with me, like myself and Armin, the shelter costs have been going up. Rent prices have been going up again because people cannot buy homes because rates have gone up. So what happens here, just a quick kind of breakdown, is when rates go up, it deters people from going out and buying property, so they'll stick to rentals. They'll be, okay, we'll extend our lease 1 more year, we'll keep renting for 1 more year, and that creates the rental economy picks up, supply and demand, right? Demand goes up, supply is literally set in New York. There's very little building happening in New York these days if you look at like the permit stuff. And you have some, but it's not very big, especially like in the city areas, just in New York, for example. But if you look at some of the housing building data, it hasn't been fantastic either. So the supply is finite, and prices tend to kind of go up, and that's why you're seeing a lot of the world of shelter getting hit again. And mind you, though, this shelter data is older. The way that they use it, it's about like a year ago's data that they use, so it's a little bit funky how they do it, but it still sucks, right? Rent's too high. The rent is too damn high, right? There's a meme for that. So that's what happened last week in a nutshell for our CPI stuff. It looked beautiful on surface value, but when you go under the hood, the sticky stuff is still sticking, unfortunately. So let's continue to what happened next. This is the other stuff that kind of caused some chaos. PPI was beautiful. PPI came down, dropped nicely. PPI was great, and I enjoyed it. I really, really, really enjoyed PPI's report. Came down very good. That's a good teller for the next CPI. PPI is your producer price index. It's the cost for manufacturers. If that goes up, the cost is pushed off to you and me. So for example, if it costs Pepsi more to make a can of Pepsi, it's going to cost you and me probably a few more cents more to buy that can of Pepsi. That's why PPI is important. It's an indicator going into the next CPI. Last but certainly not least, the scariest piece of data that we received last week. Josie, welcome to the chat. Welcome, Walter. Welcome to the chat. I see you guys coming in. Welcome, welcome. The scariest piece of data that we received was retail sales. Now, I put this on my Twitter as well earlier last week. I said, hey, folks, I think if you want a real indicator of what's going to be happening with a recession, I posted this here on my Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, you're missing out. Links in the description. I said, folks, if you want to see if we're heading into a recession, keep an eye on those retail sales data. Now, something really interesting happened. I don't know. I forgot who it was. I think it was Bird Law on Twitter told me. He goes, we're in tax season, and people usually spend money on tax season because they get a refund. But these core sales numbers came down significantly. Month over month, we're in the negative for core retail sales. Regular retail sales was down significantly. I need to turn on a few more things here to be able to see the full stuff because it's kind of filtered it out. But let me go from here to here, apply this, and then turn on all the events. Because for some reason, it marks those as 1 star, so 1 stars don't have a higher ranking for some reason to show them fully. Retail control was down significantly. Retail sales year over year from last March till now dropped by almost half. That is terrible. That means people are not spending money, and if you're not spending money, that's a sign of weakness in the economy. And you don't want weakness in the economy. You want people spending money. You want people having an abundance to be able to help that GDP, help the money flow going, help your small retail companies going, your big companies going, right? We saw that data came out for Apple saying the demand for their desktops, computers dropped down significantly. So you're seeing a lot of the gears kind of going into, remember what Jerome Powell and them said that all these rate hikes are going to have a lagging effect? Well, welcome to the lag. It's starting to kind of kick into the economy now even more. So this was atrocious. It was really, really bad. That's why if you look at the S&P, if you look at good old SPY, we go to the daily chart here. Let me turn these drawings off. We'll come back to those later when we go to the live charting segment. You can see here that CPI day, the markets were not happy. Excuse me, let me just move this so I can get my correct dates down. So the 14th, 13th, and 12th. So here we go. 14, 13, 12. So 12, we had CPI. Markets were not happy with it because obviously the core inflation sucked. So that dropped. Thursday, PPI came out, was really good. So it kind of gave like a signal for people to go like, this is great. And then Friday, markets were like, we got a small little bull trap. I told my team too. I told my trading team I said, guys, I'm not confident in this. I don't like what's going on here. I was like, this could be a bull trap. I'll post a screenshot for you guys. I think I posted it on Twitter. Let me see if I posted it to show you guys because a lot of people, yeah, here we go. There it is right here. I said, guys, let's see. Imagine this open turns out to be a bull trap. This was at 9:53 right in the morning. And then take a look at this. Literally like a few minutes later, 10 minutes later, the markets began to sell off significantly. Why? Because that retail sale data was terrible. Bank earnings were good, but retail sales data was terrible. So we got a small pop and a massive, massive drop. Beach Bum says, so what do you believe all the people will do with their tax refunds this year? And if they're going to spend their tax refunds, what do you think they will be spending it on? So from what I'm hearing and from what I've been talking to a lot of people, those tax refunds got significantly smaller this year. It feels like every single year they're getting smaller. If you're getting refunds, congratulations. But it feels like they're getting much, much smaller every single year, which is unfortunate. But if people are spending it, I think they're really spending it on their needs. It's no more wants. I remember when tax season came around and people would get those refunds, they'd be spending it on wants, like, hey, I want to go out and buy this cool thing, get myself a PlayStation. Maybe if it's big enough, go put a down payment on a car. That was always the big shindig there. But now I feel like people are just holding it for their day-to-day, especially as we've been seeing. Savings data is down. The amount of money people are saving is down. A lot more people living paycheck to paycheck. Things have been tough on the economy, and we saw that reflected in the retail sales data too. So we're going to have to see how that plays out there. So next week, we have a storm of earnings coming out. This is important because these are the companies that are going to be moving. These are the companies that are going to be moving the S&P and the whole stock market overall. Beastbum says it was reported that tax refunds will be 11% less on average this year. You know, look, that's unfortunate. That's really, really unfortunate because let's not get into the whole tax talk. We'll be here forever if we start talking taxes. But yeah, it is a drastic drop. Listen to Tony Hill, my friends. Hit that like button. Goal like count is 35 likes. We're currently at 21 likes. Let's get to that 35 likes. I appreciate you all so much. By the way, the format of this stream, the first hour of this stream, I'll be doing it here on this channel. And then the second hour into the end of the night, that's however long we need to go, I'll be moving to my YouTube channel. Send some love there. So we'll be transitioning to that channel about like an hour or so into the stream. So right off the bat, we can see we've got more banks happening on Monday. This is going to be interesting to see how these are going because we have some smaller banks built into here. It's not those First Bank in New York, for example, is going to be reporting. M&T Bank, State Street. These guys are the smaller banks, right? They're not your big JP Morgans who saw inflows. You might be seeing some data from these guys with some outflows from them into the bigger banks. So that's going to be interesting there. Tuesday in the morning, you got, again, more banks and more you got Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, and then you have Johnson & Johnson, which Johnson & Johnson will give you an idea of how Pfizer will be reporting, how Moderna will be reporting, the biotech stocks, right? The pharma bio stocks. After close, you got the first big tech stock reporting, that's Netflix. Netflix will set the precedent for how Amazon, Disney, Roku, Fubo, all those guys will do. It's really, really important to keep an eye on there. United will set the playing field for how the airlines will be doing. Delta, Ryanair. It's not my airline company. What's that cheap airline company? JetBlue, for example. And a few of those other ones, you'll see United will be setting the runway there. And then you go to Wednesday with the big, you got more banks in the morning. And then in the afternoon, you got the big kahuna Tesla. Now, Tesla is one of the largest holdings in the S&P. Will move the stock market. Will move the EVs. You'll see Rivian, Lucid Motors. Those guys will move off of Tesla. It's going to be very interesting here because they beat their vehicle expectations, but since they've cut their prices, you're probably going to see a hit on the margins once again. We saw that last quarter margins took a hit when they cut prices a little bit. Now they've cut prices much more in Q1, end of Q4 or early Q1. They cut prices significantly on Model 3, S, Y, and X. Even the X, they cut prices there. So you might see a hit there on the margins for Tesla. That's going to be interesting to see. That will literally move the S&P. So keep an eye on that there. It's very, very important. IBM will probably have an impact on cloud computing companies such as Cloudflare, maybe even Salesforce a little bit there, so keep an eye there. Discover, more related to the banking credit card segment. Thursday is when one of my holdings, again, I hold Tesla, full disclosure. I hold TSMC, full disclosure. TSMC will be reporting. Again, I'll try my best to disclose if I have a position in any of these companies. Anything that we discussed earlier, I don't have a position in. I have a position in Tesla, TSMC here on this table that's reporting this year. So I'm going to get 2 report cards for companies that I'm holding. TSMC is going to be very, very important because TSMC makes chips for Apple, makes chips for NVDA, makes chips for AMD, and this will be the whole semiconductor sector that has been running extremely, extremely hot. So what happens here is we'll get an idea for how those companies will be doing based off of TSMC's production numbers. So you want to keep an eye there. It's very, very, very important there. Amex, I'm watching for personal reasons because I'm always interested to see how Amex does because that's a harder credit card to get usually. So you want to see how money at that level is flowing as well. AT&T, Nokia, will be interesting to see what happens there. I'm not too crazy about what happens there, especially with AT&T's dividend cuts. Don't really care, but this will give you an idea how T-Mobile and Verizon will do, even though you don't hear too much about AT&T's market share anymore these days. Rite Aid, I'll be watching closely there because I want to see how Walgreens does, especially with the amount of theft discussion that's been happening. If you're in New York like myself and Armand or anyone else, you will know that places like, or anywhere in the world actually, not anywhere in the US, I don't know about the world, but you're seeing more and more stuff locked up behind lock and key. So that'd be very, very important to see how these guys do because you'll probably see a lot of discussion about retail theft and retail stuff happening, unfortunately, once these earnings come out. After close, you got Seagate, interesting peek into the hardware world. That'll probably give you an idea of where Dell is going. But really, your big hitters for this week are going to be the most important ones in my personal opinion. You're going to want to see how Bank of America does, Johnson & Johnson, Goldman Sachs, Lockheed Martin, Netflix, United, then Morgan Stanley is going to be important in my opinion, Tesla, IBM, TSMC, very, very important. Tesla and TSMC are going to be the 2 big bangers of the week. Amex, and that's about it. Those are the ones. And then, of course, you have banks scattered all across them. You have Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble gives you an idea as to how retail is spending their money. Because they have a lot of companies products within this company that really kind of set the tone for how people are spending their money on certain goods that are actually needs. Procter & Gamble really produces a lot of your need-based products, so I'm really, really curious to see how they do that. So that's our earnings. Now let's take a look at some events happening this week. The good news here is our events are kind of winding down for the next 2 weeks. We kind of get a lull in the next 2 weeks. So let's take a look at it. Let's discuss. Monday, nothing significant. Tuesday, if you're looking at the housing market, you get some housing data. Again, nothing significant that affects the stock market directly. Wednesday, you have some core durable goods and durable goods data there. That could have a bit of an effect, but not too much. Usually doesn't tend to be a market mover unless it's really, really out of left field. Thursday is when the big kahuna hits. I was wrong. It's not. After this week is when we get the lull. This week we still have a bit of a banger. We get some PCE for Q1. This isn't your PCE data. That's on Friday. But you get PCE for Q1. So you get Q1's PCE data to see how that went. Again, your consumer index data. That's going to kind of be the metric of inflation that the Fed looks at. But they really look at this PCE more. You have Q1's GDP data coming out. I think this is preliminary print number 1, if I'm not mistaken. We'll leave that to load for a second. So that's going to be interesting to see. And you can see here it's set to come in flat for Q1 quarter over quarter. It's set to come in flat there. So I'm really interested to see. I believe this is preliminary print number 1. It is. It's preliminary print number 1 because you get 2 preliminary prints and then you get the final print. This is preliminary print number 1 for 2023. So we want to see how that goes. That will probably move markets if it's not flat. If it's up, that'll be really good. If it's down, it's not going to be too hot. It could scare markets a little bit there. So the big kahuna is on Friday. So essentially after in the middle of the earnings cycle, we've got PCE coming in right on the tails of CPI. So literally week after week, core PCE year over year and month over month. Year over year, core PCE, just like core CPI, is set to go up a smidge. Month over month is set to go up a smidge. This will probably not fare well for markets. Markets will probably not like this one. And I would not be, I get it, it's not good. Inflation is sticky, it's a harder battle than we expected. Regular PCE, however, has no estimates right now, but I'd imagine it'd be very similar to what happened last month when they really moved together with CPI. almost 1-to-1. And you can see here that they came down just a smidge. And I wouldn't be surprised if they come down just a smidge, 4.9, maybe 4.8. And then month over month will probably be a little more stickier than we expect. Maybe coming in flat or maybe 0.2, maybe. We'll have to see how that plays out. But that'll be your real market movers. And then your personal income and personal spending. This is, again, more data to see, are we truly heading into a recession, which I personally believe we are. This is going to be kind of setting the storm, setting us up for a possible storm. So if this data is ugly, it won't be nice. And then we got some more Michigan data, which Michigan data is interesting to watch and see, but it's really a 1 to 2 candle mover, doesn't do too much. All right, we discussed the markets, the events, the earnings, all the big boys. Now we're going to discuss some charts. Let's go and start with SPY. We always start with SPY. We always discuss SPY together. And I'm going to take a second to kind of do a few plugs. Hit that like button. We're at 29 likes. We're 6 likes away from our 35 like goal count. I'd appreciate you guys if you hit that like button. Negan, what's up, buddy? Welcome to the stream. See you down there. I want you guys to listen to Tony Hill and smash that like button. Shout out to Tony, and thank you for always reminding people to hit that like button. If you haven't already, do me a solid and follow me on Twitter. The link is down below in the description. If you're not sure how that operates or how that works, let me show you. If you come to the stream and you click on this little drop down here, all my links for everything are down here. And it's really important, especially tonight, because the format of the show is the first hour of the stream will be here, and then the rest of the stream will be on my YouTube channel right here. So if you click this, you'll be able to see that my YouTube channel is right there, and you'll be able to come in and join me on that stream once this ends, so you'll have access to that. So if you subscribe to my YouTube here, and the funny thing is, we're about 6 or 7 away from 8,000 subscribers, so if you can help me get there tonight, that would be make it a memorable stream. And if you guys are curious to learn how to do all the stuff that I do, join the trading team that I mentioned earlier. You can. We only have 5 spots open for this month. But if you join, I promise you there's a ton of value to help you become a better trader, kickstart your trading, and you shouldn't be struggling alone. It's there to provide you with a ton of value, so you can go there. All the links are here. Discord, Twitter, YouTube. Join us. Let's learn. Let's trade together. Let's have some fun. Now to the stocks. So this is the part of the show that I love. This is my favorite part of the show. After the discussions happen, we get a queue of stocks going. So drop your tickers into the chat of stocks you want charted, and we'll discuss them as soon as I'm done with SPY. So as we can see here, the old S&P, need to turn on my lines, draw the lines, and make money. That's kind of how I like to go about it. You can see the old S&P is going to be having a battle with this 413, and 415 was not liked at all. This is one level that we've been watching together closely with the trading team at Trading Together Academy, is that this 415 level was not liked. It was rejected very harshly. It's been rejected several times. If you look within this range, this 415, 416 range, every time it's been coming since essentially the beginning of this year, it has just been getting kicked down. Even in mid-September last year, it's just been getting kicked down. We cannot break over this 415, unfortunately, with current market conditions until things get moving. So you really need to break this 415. So it's going to be a resistance to kind of keep your eye on. This level is ugly. I don't like it. She's not playing ball. Armin, thank you so much for the follow on Twitter. Appreciate you, brother. So we've got that guy going there. Let me just move this tab over so I kind of need to keep track of some stuff on this end. We're one away from the 35 like. I appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. So that's that there. That's the macro view. That 413, 415 range is ugly. It's not letting us pass by, and it rejected very harsh. But the 9 EMA on the hourly chart was able to catch us. If we look at it on the hourly chart, let's turn some extended hours off, because I don't believe in extended hours really too much, because there's not enough volume there to produce us results that we need to be able to see what's needed to truly be going on. So we can see here again, we saw in the morning, this is right in the morning, literally went to 415.09, literally 9 cents off of that 415 and rejected significantly, came down, lost the 9 EMA, the 410.50, another level. Negan knows, he's in the chat, he's in the Discord with us. I've always tell people 410.50, 409.40, 407.60. These are 3 big levels. 408.40, these are big levels that I'm watching on the support side and my EMAs. It lost the 9, it came to 410.50, wicked down a little bit to the 410 range. You got to give it some range, you got to give it some bounce room, and then she started to kind of make her way back up and kind of come back and touch the 412 range here, right on the money. So we're going to have to see how she goes. If we lose this 90 EMA again, we lose this 411.82, we'll probably come back and revisit 410, 410.50, and that goes, you really want this 409.62, this 50 EMA to hold us. If she goes, SPY follows, and we literally have a path all the way down to 408.40. So it's kind of a lot is kind of holding on to these earnings that are coming out. You've got the heavy hitters again, Tesla, Netflix. These guys are big boys. These move the tech stocks. Tech stocks are a big part of the S&P, and you're going to see some action affecting this. So you want to keep your eyes on those earnings because they'll be moving the markets. And until those start coming out, you want to trade the chart. So that's what we have on the old S&P here. You want to kind of keep an eye on, but she's still doing very, very well, right? In the grand scheme of things, with everything happening, you're still in a decent uptrend. Things are looking really good, but once these start breaking down, you're going to probably come. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another 400 retest this year, especially if we get another rate hike in May. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another 400 retest. Kind of close up some of these gaps that are formed here. There's still a really big gap here that kind of worries me a lot. It's from 396.49 to 398.68. This gap worries me significantly. I wish it would have filled when we were here, but it didn't. That's something that I always have in the back of my head when I'm looking at SPY. So that's the S&P. Again, as always, if we're discussing a stock and you have a question, chat, do me a solid, drop it in there, be like, hey, I got a question, I need an answer, what do you think, what do we do? And then I'll obviously help you answer those questions as best as I can. So we're going to go to the top of the queue and we're going to start discussing. So right off the bat, the first two that we have coming in for the night, who was it? I just saw it 2 seconds ago. My buddy Armin coming in for NVDA and Tesla. So let's do that. Let me just get my notepad out. If you have any stocks you want charted, let me know and we'll get to them. So I'm just going to write this down. NVIDIA and Tesla. All right, cool. So we have those two in the queue. Let's start with NVIDIA. So NVIDIA obviously will be affected significantly by the TSMC earnings that are coming out. So you want to make sure that you keep an eye on that, and that is on a Thursday. So right here on the Thursday morning before market open, this is really going to come out on Wednesday, late Wednesday night out of Taiwan. So you want to be watching that there. Milky's saying FSLR, Fistler. We'll put that in the queue as well. Okay, I need to let me just log into my Benzinga Pro because I need to get access to some data if we're discussing these stocks, especially if we're going into earnings. So let me just log in here. I had a little bit of a scare Friday morning with my Benzinga Pro. I was like, whoa, my account says user not found. This is bad. They were having a little bit of technical difficulties. So I want to check this. Okay, have that fired up. Let me move that tab here. All right, let's get going. Let's go. Let's do this. All right, NVIDIA. If you're with us, all these lines, everything is from the stream that we did last week. We discussed it. We said that we're in an ascending wedge, and we saw the wedge kind of fall down. We kind of rode the wedge up. I need a calendar. What was it? Oh, no, we didn't stream last week. This is from 2 weeks ago. Okay, so we saw that whenever we drew this line, that we were riding the support level here. We have a gap here on NVIDIA. We were watching that, and we were riding this 90 EMA up. Friday, we lost the 90 EMA, but we established and held support on this the 263.55 level, and we had drawn. Now, I don't know when I drew this. It's probably for the team. I had probably posted it for the team, but you can see almost to the penny caught this sucker. Literally 30 cents off, 35 cents off from that level. It caught her, and it kind of said, all right, boing, hold it. So now you really want to keep an eye and break over this 9 EMA, sitting at 268.79. You want to give it a little bit more buffer room if you want more like a more confident entry. I'd be looking for a 270.78 up or above break here to kind of get to the next step there on the movement upward here on NVIDIA to go up. Now this thing has been running very hot. If you look at it, we're on the daily chart, right? We really need to get up there, but she cooled down a little bit for us. The past 3 days ago, it cooled down. Friday did nice and well and caught it herself. If we look at the hourly chart, looking for kind of more of a better entry, you can see if you're looking for a scalp or a day trade, you're going to need to get over this 50 EMA, which she's sitting at exactly very close to our 90 EMA at 268.75. That's going to be a level to watch. Over that, you're going to be really watching these volume walls. You really want to hold this 270.68 that we discussed 2 seconds ago is going to be the next level. This volume wall is very small, so I don't see it giving us too much trouble. And our next level will be 273 to the 273, 274 range. So you want to watch those levels very closely. But if you're looking for a quick put scalp, this 9 EMA on the hourly goes. You'll probably come and retest that 263 that we discussed a few seconds ago. You'll probably come and test this 263.55. If that goes, you want to keep your eyes very, very close to this 200 MA on the hourly chart, sitting at 259.26. You don't want to lose that guy. That's kind of your bread and butter maker right there. It's been a long trend line that's been kind of holding essentially take a look at this. It's been holding since January 11th. If this goes, things get ugly. And you really want to watch that, especially after the TSMC data comes out, because if this goes, it's not going to be pretty, and you start seeing a bigger path down. And as you can see here, there's not much of a volume support here to kind of catch you once this thing gives out. You're probably going to see it drop down very quickly to that 420, that 243, 244 range. So you want to kind of keep your eye very, very close to this 200 MA and this 256.68 level. So that's NVIDIA in a nutshell. Hope that answered your questions. If you have any follow-ups, you can obviously drop them in the chat. I will always return back to there and kind of try my best to answer those questions. Let's see where we're sitting at. We're sitting at 39 likes. Holy cannoli. That's awesome. All right, new goal count. Let's see if we can get to 50 likes. 11 away, 50 likes. If we can get there, tickle it. It's free. She's awesome. Helps me, helps the algorithm, and helps Benzinga keep me on this channel. We got to produce ratings, they said. We need the views. We need the ratings. We need the likes. I'm just totally kidding. They did not say that. They said, hey, help the Benzinga Nation as best as you can. And I said, I love these guys. I'm going to do the best that I can to provide them with value, and that's why we're here. One other thing that I want to add here is this resistance trend line here. So if you look, there was a resistance trend line here, and it's attempting to break out, right? We're still on NVIDIA. We're still on NVIDIA. If you ever get lost to where we are, look up here, and you can see the name of the stock / company here. The name of the company, not the stock, but the ticker is also embedded back here, but it's a little bit harder to see. You want this trend line, it's attempting to break out of it and retest the 50 EMA. So this test could be beautiful. If we can break that and kind of go up again, we have a path upwards to the 270 range, and then so on and so forth. But we lose this 9 EMA, she's probably going to magnet down here to 263.50. That goes, you're probably going to come in, probably have some light support ranges here, the 262 range, and then you've probably got a path, you got a little bit more support here at the 260.50 range, and then you're going to come and visit our friend here, the 200 MA. So you got kind of both sides of the equation. I always say this to the team, I always say this on Twitter, plan for both sides of the trade, plan for both sides of the trade, because if you're here to make money, you got to remove bias as a trader. You really have to remove bias because it holds you back. So I feel like NVIDIA is going to go up no matter what. And let's say tomorrow morning you wake up and she's down, and you start buying call options. And she keeps going down, and your call options are dwindling. You keep averaging down, averaging down, averaging down, and you're kind of all out of money. At that point, you're going to have some heart pain. You're going to have some. It's going to suck. But if you plan for both sides of the trade, and you're like, okay, NVIDIA could go up or could go down. Here we're seeing a bit of a breakout, so there's more of a higher chance of a retest of the 50 EMA, again, for a quick scalp move. But you want to plan for both sides, so for whatever happens, we go up or we go down, you have a plan, you're ready to go, you're ready to execute. And do this with maybe 1 to 3 stocks so that you're not scrambling during the day, like, I need to find a trade, I need to find a trade. No. Plan, then execute. All right. That's NVIDIA in a nutshell. Boba Plays, I see you. So really quickly, let me tell you what the queue is right now. We're going to do Tesla, then FSLR, then we have AI coming in. If you have any stocks you'd like charted, drop them in the chat. Don't be shy. We don't bite here. And we can go over the chart together. So let's go to Tesla. Tesla's got earnings this week, Wednesday after close. If you're following me on Twitter, I will make sure to drop that in. Last earnings, I was the very, very first one, very, very first person to drop the earnings on Twitter. I literally went back, looked at the cash tag, was the first person to drop it. Make sure you're following me there if you want the earnings data. I will be posting earnings data as they come out. All right, yeah, a little ASMR, I think that was. I hope it wasn't. I'm not sure. But let's look at Tesla. Tesla, let's look at it on the daily chart, then we'll go to the hourly chart. We can see here she is attempted to break out of this resistance band here, but was quickly stopped by the 90 EMA, and then was quickly stopped by this fib level here at 190. The 190 is being a pain. This big volume wall, you see this sucker? These are big fat volume walls. You're going to need a lot of juice to get over these. You're going to need good earnings to get over these volume walls, or it's going to be a pain point for this stock. you really need to get over these volume walls to get over. So you got to keep your eye, most importantly, is on these two EMAs. So take a look at these at 186.65 and 185.75. These are the two levels. You really got to get over the 186.65 first, right? You got to get over that. She's on top. You got to push her. You got to push her. She's on top. And then you're going to want to watch this 190 level here, right? Right at the 188 to 190 level, you're going to need to break those to be able to make a move upwards, right? And looking at her on the support side, you do have a little bit of a support trend line forming here, right? This yellow trend line, let's turn her green because she's support. This green right here, again, it's not the prettiest trend line. You don't have too many you don't have too much going on for it. It's only a few candles, but it's support. You want to watch that. So you really want to make sure that you're holding, especially if we reject this, you want to hold this support here on the 180 level. And if 180 goes, you're probably going to come and test the 176 level. And if that goes, you go to your next fib that you have down here, the 173. That's kind of the pathway that I'm seeing on the macro. Now let's go to the hourly chart, get a view of what's going on under the hood. I want to kindly remind you to hit that like button if you haven't. We're doing this, remember, we're about halfway through the stream, a little bit more than halfway through the stream, around 9 p.m., so in about 15 to 20 minutes, I'll be jumping on my channel to continue the stream there. The link is in the description. Make sure you're subscribed there because we're going to be moving over there to continue the stream there at around 9:05 because we want to get some action over there as well. So I wanted to make sure to remind you guys, if you haven't, the link is in the description. Subscribe there. We'll be jumping there and we'll be doing some. We'll be having some fun there as well because I don't want to spend too much time and run this stream for too long like I've been doing for the past few weeks. Just in case there's other people that come on and do stuff on this channel, I didn't want to go for too long. So Tesla, very similar. Again, I'll redraw it. It's this line here, and you have, as you can see here, your 200 MA, which is sitting at what, 187, right around the range of our 90 MA. You're gonna need to break over that. Losing this 200 MA on the hourly chart was actually devastating, devastating to see. Again, because we just broke out of it, and then a few days ago on March 7th, we lost it. Came back down, tried to regain it, held it for a little bit, and then lost it again. I think this was around when the car number came out. Even though they were good, markets didn't like them. Markets sold off, unfortunately. And that sucks, but it is what it is. What are you going to do? So you're going to want to watch for a break. Really, you're going to need to get over this 187, then get over to 190 to be able to make a path upwards to 194, and then 196. And then you have, eyeball it, the 200 range is going to be your penultimate battle, right? But if you start going down, things get ugly. You're going to want to watch this trend line here around the 182. And then you're going to want to watch this 180. And then, again, like we discussed, that 176, 173 range is what you got on the bottom for Tesla. So that's Tesla in a nutshell. Again, earnings are going to be the thing that moves this week significantly. You're going to see contract premiums pop up as volatility raises because we're going into an earnings event. Volatility jumps. So make sure you kind of have your eye on that there with what's going on with Tesla. Let me just do something really quickly. I need to fix the screen sharing. There we go. And add back. All right, cool. So we got two more, FSLR and AI. Again, if you want any stocks charted, do me a solid, drop them in the chat. If not, we'll just jump. If we don't have any more stocks in the queue, we'll do some random stocks. We'll go over some random charts and stuff. But again, the whole point of the stream is for me to be able to give you guys some help and some kickback in it. And if we don't have any stocks in the chart in the queue, I'll start looking at some stocks that are having earnings that we discussed earlier that I think are very, very important, and we'll chart those. So FSLR, let's take a look at this one. FSLR, for my buddy Milky, says, I'm considering long puts on FSLR if semiconductor industry sells off. My 2 cents. Okay, let's take a look at it. Let me pull up FSLR on Benzinga Pro as well. FSLR. First Solar. Interesting. So it's a First Solar. Just out of curiosity, is it because of the chips that they use? If there's like less sales, I assume you're expecting Solar to also take a drop there as a parallel. Because they also work in the semiconductor section. Okay. Again, admittedly, I don't know much about this company. That's why we're looking at this. That's why I have this tool to kind of give me a little bit of an insight on what's going on with FSLR. FSLR for solar designs and manufactures solar photonic panels, modules, and systems for the users. Yeah, I was right. They're solar panels. But I guess they also deal with, they're out of Malaysia, US, and India. And they also deal with the manufacturers. Okay, got it. All right. Okay, all right, we got U and H, and then N phase. Okay, so we'll do that. Cool. What are your thoughts on the continuation of BFRG? I'll add it to the queue. BFRG. I'll add it to the queue. All right, let's take a look at Fizzler. Or First Solar. Fizzler is, it's funny because it sounds like Fisker. Fizzler. There's a lot of memes about that word back in the day. There we go. All right. So she's got a lot of battles here in this 219 range. I can see that very, very clearly. The 219 is going to be a big, big war zone for Fizzler because literally she's at like a 52-week high, right? It's up there. This thing's been chugging. It's been going. Is it an all-time high? Let me see that. I need to go back in time a little bit here. It's not an all-time high. You had some more action happening back in the 2008. 2008. Wow. Okay. Wow. It was at $300 in 2008, but it's okay. You're literally at a 52-week. It's been churning 52-week highs almost like every other week. That's interesting. Good job, Fizzler. All right, Anthony. Thank you so much for being here. See you in the Discord, buddy. I appreciate you for coming. Yeah, Anthony, by the way, if you're in the Discord, we didn't cover any stocks you want to charted, just hit me up there. I'll be more than happy to chart them for you there, buddy. So Fizzler, I'm seeing some resistance around this range as well. Again, we're on the daily chart right now. So again, this range has been providing with some heartburn. The 213 to 219 has been some heartburn for Fizzler, but it's got some decent support built around here. Around this 204 range. Let's see, I see another trend line here. Okay, there we go. Got a resistance trend line also formed here. Excuse the sloppy lines, by the way, if they're not exact. You guys get the idea of what I'm aiming for. So she's getting really tight in this triangle. It's got two paths it could take, right? I'm assuming they don't have earnings. Let me just check the calendar. No earnings. No earnings this week, so that's good. So we don't have to worry about earnings. We really need to get over 213.67 upwards to get a move up for Fizzler. And you really need to lose this 204 and then this 200 level essentially for a move downward to come and test this range right here at the 50 EMA around 196. So if we look at the micro level, we can see here that it's battling this big volume wall, right? This is not a higher volume stock. This isn't a stock that moves on, that does too much volume. Its session volume is really around 1.2 million and its average is 2.3. So even on Friday, it did half of the volume that it usually does. So that's not good. You really want good volume to be able to move a stock, especially if you want buying volume, right? You can have 10 million volume on a stock, but it could just be people selling, right? You want buying volume, you want the buyer stepping in. So what does that mean? You need to get over this 50 and 200 MA around 208, and then you're going to probably come and test this 209.62 range. And then if you had enough volume, you'll probably get it to this 210 and then to the penultimate 213. But again, like we drew a little bit earlier, I'm not sure why I didn't translate over, but let me see. That's really weird. Sometimes it doesn't let me move it on all time frames, so that's fine. Let me just draw it again. So you really don't want to lose this support line here. If this goes, you test 204. 204 goes, you're going to come probably test this 200. You can see here you have a bit of a volume wall here to kind of catch you. You have a smaller one here on the 202, 203. But if that goes, you don't have too much action here. Sellers can bring this down to 199, 200 very quickly because there's not too much action there to catch us on this movement downward, and that's okay. So you have kind of bi-directional for Fizzler there, but I agree. If the semiconductors kind of flake out, if TSMC starts making moves, I don't know. I don't have any back testing on Fizzler to be able to tell you that when semis go down, Fizzler goes down. But I'd watch it because it's an interesting one. I need to just do one thing. I'm assuming you're trading options on this one because you said puts, obviously. Fizzler, I need to check. I want to check the liquidity on the options chains. So the options chains, you're on a monthly contract, so they should pick up this week. So the options have decent open interest. Yeah, but you're gonna have to really stick with this 421 contracts if you're trying to trade this one for this week. Because if you look at the following weeks, the volume is non-existent. The chains are dead, right? And without volume and open interest in your options chains, you're not gonna have anyone to sell them to, and the spreads are gonna be really, really ugly. And Fizzler itself has really ugly spreads. It's already sitting at like 20-cent spreads, which is not really. I'm not really happy when you have those kind of spreads. They're not very ideal because it makes it harder for you to buy and sell within the level of profit that you're seeing. You're like, oh, cool, I'm up 25%. But then the spread's like 20 cents, and you're really up like 8%, right? Because you have to sell within the spread, the bid-ask spread there. So you want to watch that. So that's Fizzler. Next up is AI. Funny you mentioned AI. I was charting this earlier. It's on my watch list for the team. This is one that we've been tracking for a while because she's getting tight. She's consolidating, right? She's consolidating within this range right here. And there we go. That's just forming a bit of a triangle there. My pleasure, Milky, anytime. Oh, this is the hour that we go to the daily first. So, right off the bat, we know that AI has had some fun. She got a few pumps thanks to the whole AI movement, the whole discussions with Microsoft microprocessors. She had some fun there. If we do a quick fib here against a very tight range, just because this has been choppy. Actually, I regret this range. I don't like it. I'm going to change it. I want it from the base point here to the high of our pump here. I like that much better. Now, I'm not sure what I use there. I'm not sure what that says. It's a different language. Mohammed, I'm sorry, I don't know what that says, my friend. I translated it to English, it says DO. I'm not sure what stock that is. So, you want to watch this 9 EMA. In order for AI to go up, the stock AI, C3 AI, who's asking for it? It was Boba. You're going to need to break this 9 EMA here. If you can break this 9 EMA here, again, you're stuck behind the volume wall. If you break the 9 EMA, there's a path to come and test this 2536. And 2536 gets tested. If you can break above that, your next move is from 26 to 2680. This is the next range you're going to be watching very closely. As you can see here, there's a lot of wicking action around these parts. If you can break above that, your next big level you're going to want to watch is this 20, high 28, mid to high 28 range. And then above that, you're going to be watching your $30 range. It's a big mover up, right? So the downward movement, you got a bit of a trend line here as well. Take a look at this. Come on. Here, up a little bit. You see this red line. Hopefully it's coming through clear. Let me just extend it so you can kind of see it. You're going to want to watch this trend line, right? It's been consolidating. It's been fighting. It's been trying to hold this $21/$20 range for a few days now. It's been kind of getting dangerous. You can see here in the past. This is kind of the range she kind of tries to hold at best. Is this $20 level. If that goes and that goes and 20 goes, give you literally a very clean, fast path down to the 1729 level. That's going to be a big one that you want to watch. So if these things start going very quickly, you're going to see this sucker drop, in my opinion, again, very fast because there's no volume walls to catch it. The pump seems to maybe it's been deflated. And I'd be watching stocks like Microsoft. Right, see Microsoft's on this channel. Be watching stocks like Microsoft. Microsoft starts to descend and the whole AI thing starts to cool off, kind of like last year with the NFTs, all that garbage. It cools off. You're going to start to see AI kind of take a breather as well. All right, guys, we're 3 minutes away from 9 p.m. We'll be moving this stream to my channel. If you haven't already, if you go on the comment section of this video, if you go to the description of this video, you'll see that, hey, this is where your guys' chat is. If you come here and you click on this YouTube link, that's where the rest of the stream will be going. Do me a solid and come and swing over there. And we'll be doing the rest of the stream from there in a few minutes. We'll do one more chart here. We'll do UNH. Then we'll move N-Phase and BFRG over to that channel. And we'll be doing more stuff on that channel. Then I'll be going there probably for another hour of just raw charting on that channel as well. So if you want to get us there, and we're a few likes away from 50 likes. So thank you so much. We beat our goal like count. Michael says no natural gas. You don't like natural gas, Mikey? Sorry to hear that. Again, yeah, it's, natural gas isn't loved. It's Michael's saying. Oh, Michael says sorry, Michael, I missed your comment. Ooh, that's bad. Hold on. Yeah, Michael says, what do you think about natural gas? Boil and UNG are so low. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Um, all right, the reason we're doing Mike's is because he asked first, and I somehow unfortunately missed it. I apologize, Mike. But you can see here that nat gas has been in the dumper, for lack of a better way of putting it. I apologize for putting it that way. But nat gas has just been getting murdered. Like, it was doing so well. Like, it had like its little foray there, its little soiree. It's just been getting murdered downward. Now, look, this is the thing. You're going into the summer months, right? Nat gas tends to kind of sell off into the summer, into the seasonalities. If you look at it, like, let's go to something like a monthly chart. I got to turn my MAs off because what's happening here is it's kind of forcing us down. Okay, we need to zoom in. I don't know why it's doing this or why it thinks that's appropriate to kind of get us into that weird range. Let me see if it can. There we go. Perfect. Move this. You can see here, like, when you're into the winter, she picks up, and then as you're going, it's funny here in 2021, it picked up into the summer and then sold off in the winter, then picked up into the summer and then held into the summer and then sold off into the winter. But then if you look at all the preceding years, it's just kind of been in a massive downtrend. Now, by no means am I an expert in nat gas. It's not my sector. It's not my move here. Personally, if you think it's undervalued, again, you're at literally like an all-time low for nat gas right now. If you're looking at oil, for example, take a look at it. Like, you're literally at an all-time low. If you're looking to load up some, maybe for a longer term, I wouldn't play options on this one. I don't think the option for options, for putting it in a funny way. I'm looking at. I want to just check it. It does have options change, so maybe if you want to do leaps, maybe do that. But I'm not too crazy about nat gas. It's called the widowmaker for a reason. It causes a lot of trouble, causes a lot of pain sometimes. So I would personally avoid nat gas here, unless you're looking for like a long-term hold. Maybe do that. Shannon's right. Shannon's saying we've got to wait on oil top and come down. Nat gas will head back up. Yeah, I agree. I think oil is having its field day here. OPEC took its cut. OPEC did its cut, rather, excuse me, and took its cut. OPEC did a cut there, picked up oil, so you're going to want to see that they kind of mellow out a little bit more there. But I agree with you, Shannon, right on. Jesse says, hello, everyone. Jesse, welcome to the stream. So, guys, it's 9 p.m. I appreciate you all being here so much. What we're going to do is I'm going to move the stream. We're going to do more charts. We got UNH, Enphase, BFRG over to my channel. I'd love for you guys to come and join us there. Just click this link in the description, jump on over, and I'm going to start the stream in just a few minutes. Shannon says she plays oil and not gas like Pong, so perfect. You got some expert advice there coming in from Shannon, saying you got to wait on oil at the top and come back down, then nat gas will head back up. So it sounds like they move in inverses there. So hopefully you guys can come over and bring your knowledge over there, and we can have some fun there. So I'm going to end this stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're going to be joining us, come on through. Again, the link's right here. If you're not coming over, boo-hoo, very sad to see that. But you can follow me on Twitter, and if you're interested in joining our trading team, please do so. There's a ton of value there, a ton of fantastic stuff. I can show you, let me just show you some results that we had from last week. You can see this is from the 14th. Did very, very well. Played the moves, played the charts, and I give folks a plan, and it goes there. It plays out. We got this really cool trading bot that provides really, really good results there. Again, there's only 5 slots open for the month right now in the team. If you'd like to join, we're more than happy to have you guys there. There's a ton of value. It's really a place to come to learn how to trade. It's not meant to be just an alert forum. It's meant to be a place to come to learn how to trade, learn these dynamics, ask questions. There's people there that will answer your questions. It's not like one of those trading teams where if you join, people are going to ignore you. We don't do that, or you're not allowed to ask questions during market hours. Absolutely not. My main goal with this team is to provide you with as much value as possible, and then all that money that comes in goes into funding the bot and funding tools to provide you guys with more value. I don't want you to think for a second that this is a for-profit thing or I'm trying to make money off of you guys. That's not true. The whole point of this is meant to provide you guys value because I've created essentially something that I wish I had when I first started trading. And people who are in there love it and have been doing very, very well, thank God, and have been learning. So if you guys would like to join us there, more than happy to have you. Go to discord.ryanstocks.com. The second link in the description. Be very, very happy and very honored to have you on our team to come and join. Come on over, ask any questions. And if you guys want to ask questions before joining, that's completely fine too. DM me on Twitter. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. If you have any reservations about joining before you do, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have before joining at any time. And the link for that is also in the description. So, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the stream. I'll see you on my channel. Again, the link is right here. See you guys there. Thank you as always so much to Benzinga Nation for having me on. Love you guys. See you over on my channel in just 2 minutes.